ever wondered how a frisbee flies?
Well, we're here to tell you how.
It all has to do with physics.
Two factors that influence the flight of a frisbee are gravity and air.
Gravity acts on all items the same. We accelerate the mass towards the center of the Earth at 10 meters per second squared.
Throwing the frisbee normally, the air moving on top of the frisbee flows faster than the air moving underneath it. Under the Bernoulli principle, there is a low air pressure on top of the frisbee than beneath it. Newton's third law is important in the flight of the frisbee because the frisbee forces air downward and the air forces the frisbee upward.
Spinning the frisbee when it is thrown gives it angular momentum and provides it with stability. Rotating disc has a vertical angular momentum vector which causes its path to curve to the left or right.
Without spinning the frisbee will fall to the ground.
Throwing the frisbee upside down, there's air moving on top of the frisbee flowing slower than the air moving underneath it. So there is a higher pressure on top causing the frisbee to fall faster.
When throwing the frisbee upward, it will fall right to the ground because the aerodynamic force is not perfectly centered.
Throwing the frisbee with tailwind, the tailwind decreases the airspeed of the disc but can increase ground speed. Drop in air lift, which means that the disc needs to be thrown at a higher angle to counteract the wind that pushes the disc into the ground.
When throwing the frisbee into the headwind, it reduces the distance possible and lifts under the disc, which sends them into the air.
Throwing with the crosswind either pushes the raised edge up and lifts the disc, or pushing down on a lowered edge and possibly making the disc drive into the ground. Crosswinds make it difficult to keep the disc flat on release.
We hope you learned a little bit about the physics of a frisbee, but the most important things to remember are:
with no spin, the disc is unstable.
With no speed, the disc will not be lifted.
Therefore, you need a combination of both these things to make the frisbee fly.